We bring in CBS Sports MLB writer Matt Snyder to break it all down. And there's so many great storylines here, Matt. When you look at the Brewers' makeup and the Dodgers, we know what they bring to the table, the defending World Series champs. When it comes to the pitching matchups, right, who holds the advantage in your eyes there?
I mean, in terms of the starting pitching, you've got to go with the Dodgers right now. I mean, it's Shohei Ohtani, Tyler Glasnow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Right there is a really, really nice big three. And, they have really they had major bullpen issues down the stretch, but Roki Sasaki has really kind of solidified the bullpen as well. I think the Dodgers look on paper like they have the much better rotation. When you look at the Brewers, Freddie Peralta is definitely an ace. Quinn Priester was terrible against the Cubs in Game 3. There's question marks there. Jacob Mizraowski looks like they like to use an opener in front of him. Chad Patrick, really good pitcher, but they've mostly been using him in relief in this Cubs series. It'll be interesting to see what direction they take. Something to watch on the Brewers end there is Brandon Woodruff. Brandon Woodruff was injured for the first round of the playoffs. There's a possibility he might return. He could throw like an ace, much like Freddie Peralta could, much like Jacob Mizraowski could, much like Chad Patrick we've seen a little bit. And I neglected to mention Blake Snell on the Dodgers end as well. Just the two-time Cy Young winner there, right. The Dodgers have. But on paper, it looks like a drastic advantage for the Dodgers just based on name recognition. But I don't think that anybody should be counting out the Brewers or thinking that they don't have firepower there, because they do. Mizraowski, Patrick, if Woodruff comes back, those are some live arms.
They are some live arms. And get this, the Brewers, they won every game against the Dodgers this season. So they've got to be feeling good, even though we know sometimes the regular season does not always translate to the postseason. So that's on the pitching, right? The pitching front, excuse me. What about when it comes to the starting lineup, or not the starting lineup, the batting lineup, right? That order, because the Dodgers, they are loaded. They got 3 MVPs on their roster. The Brewers, they have talented guys as well. But does LA hold the edge there as well? Or do you think it gets a little interesting?
Yeah, they do. I mean, they've got Shohei Ohtani. They've got Freddie Freeman. Mookie Betts has been his old self for the last 6 weeks or so, is really hitting the ball hard in the NLDS against the Phillies. You get Teoscar Hernandez. The lineup gets deeper a little bit down there with Max Muncy now that Will Smith is over his hand injury. That's a really, really deep lineup. So, yeah, the Dodgers, again, they have the better rotation. They have the better lineup. I do think the Brewers have the advantage in the bullpen, especially if they get Brandon Woodruff back. And so they can, if you have an extra starter there, that just makes the bullpen better because you kick guys down to the bullpen from the rotation. It's interesting. I do think that the Brewers have some advantages here, but if you just said, like, hey, on paper, who has the better rotation? Who has the better lineup? It's the Dodgers. And almost kind of a blowout. I don't want to discount the Brewers at all, but come on. I mean, look at the Dodgers payroll. They're loaded. Yeah,
they are loaded, and they back it up with their play. So you have this, right? The Dodgers, they have the edge in hitting. They have the edge in starting pitching. The Brewers, the edge in the bullpen. So ultimately, Matt, who is advancing to the World Series?
I actually am going to say the Brewers here. I think, look, they've been the best team in baseball since late May. They are like the whole is better than the sum of their parts type team. It's perfectly encapsulated in that statement there. When you look at this Brewers team, it's if you just looked at just some of the talent on paper in the Cubs series, I think you would have said, the Cubs have better players. The Cubs should be better. But if you watch the series, it's very evident that the Brewers were the better team there. And I think we're going to see something similar in the NLCS. The Brewers are going to have guys like Bryce Terang hitting a home run tonight. So many people who are going to be casually watching the series, who don't regularly watch the Brewers, are going to say, I have no idea who that is. Player like Sal Frelick in right field. So many people are going to say, I don't even know who that guy was. I have a column that's coming out right before the series where I make the argument, the Brewers are what so many people think the Rays are. Everybody talks about the Rays. They're the best run organization. They have the shoestring payroll. They win every single trade. Nobody should ever trade with them. The Brewers beat the Rays in a trade for Willie Adames just 3 years ago. The Brewers are the best run organization in baseball if you do it by the dollar, by salary. The Brewers are unbelievable at developing their own guys. They're unbelievable at winning trades. They get every ounce of skill out of their players' talent. And I think we're going to see it on the stage against the Dodgers. And I think they're going to knock off the defending champs in 7. We'll say 7. in American Family Field right there in front of those Milwaukee fans, and they'll see their first ever NL pennant. They won the AL in 1982. This would be their first ever NL pennant.
Yeah, and if you are right, Matt, it'll be their second World Series appearance as they're looking to get their first World Series title. And yeah, sign me up for 7 games between the Dodgers and the Brewers. Appreciate the time, Matt. All right, so for the Dodgers, yeah, they lost the season series, but they won both previous postseason meetings versus Milwaukee, so that's something to keep in mind. In LA, they're seeking to become the first team to win back-to-back World Series titles since 2000, so 25.
Is all set. Dodgers continuing to try to defend their crown, and the Brewers trying to continue to get over the hump. They won their 4th postseason series in franchise history, and they really cleaned house against the Dodgers. Those 6 wins against LA in the season series all came in that 6 or so week stretch where the Brewers just didn't want to lose.
Yeah, they didn't want to lose. They pitched well. Also, a lot of the guys for the Dodgers were very cold. Shohei was cold. Mookie was cold. Freddie was cold during that time. So it could be a little bit different right now, but no question about it. They feel confident because during the season, they've taken care of them.
Yeah, that's big. All right, so have you heard of Shohei Ohtani?
I have.
You have, okay. So the last 2 years with LA, 109 home runs, 232 RBIs. Great. Hall of Fame caliber. Career in the postseason, 205 average, 386 slug. What's going on?
Well, one thing, let's give some credit to the pitching in the postseason, because when you're going over the scouting report at 1 o'clock, you're saying one guy's not going to beat me. For the Dodgers, it's about 3 or 4 guys, but the one guy that really can't beat you is Shohei Ohtani. But I think for me, when I look at him, I think it's more mental and mechanical as well, which is rare for Shohei Ohtani. During the regular season, this guy was crushing fastballs. And I think right now, he's pulling off the baseball. It feels like home plate's a little bit more inside than he's regularly at. That's where he's going right now. His hips, his shoulders, it's all going to first base. And when that happens you're opening up your backside. You're not connected. I want to see Shohei Ohtani do this. Staying grounded with his front foot, getting connected with his backside, taking lefties to left center, and hitting the fastball. He's got to be able to slug the fastball. And I think that comes mechanically when you're clean and you're tight. All of a sudden now you're thinking about bigger part of the field, center field. Look how connected he is there. Taking fastballs middle third, middle in, driving them to left center. When Shohei's going well, that's what he's doing. His launch angle has taken skyrocket. It's at like about 7 degrees right now. During the regular season, it was about 17 degrees, meaning he was shorter to the baseball and that launch angle was actually taking place. I feel there's a little bit of lag, but the reason there's lag is because he's not connected, and mechanically, he's kind of moving a little bit off towards that first base side. I think Shohei Ohtani understands that. I think he's going to make an adjustment, and he's going to be very dangerous in this series coming up.
He is arguably one of the greatest players any of us have ever seen. Along with a guy like Aaron Judge, the narrative with him was he's not that great. In the postseason, what's the difference? It's 2 postseasons for Ohtani.
Yeah, it can happen in one at bat.
Yeah.
In one at bat, he can hit a grand slam. In one at bat, he can get a walk. In one at bat, he can get a pitch that he takes rather than rolling over, and he's back.
All right, so as they try to fix Shohei Ohtani for the National League Championship Series, what can the Dodgers do about their bullpen for the NLCS? Is Roki Sasaki the answer?
He's the answer. I mean, he's proven it right now that he's been the answer. He's been unbelievable. He's throwing much harder. He's using that split much more. He's not really throwing that curveball as much like he did earlier in the year. The problem is this guy is such a weapon that you can use him in the 7th, you can use him in the 8th, you can use him in the 9th. The one thing, though, Paul, to be careful with is he hasn't really thrown in a 2-day spread, right? So if you use him for 2 innings, if you use him for 3 innings, there's a good chance that you can't use him in the next game. So you have to be very careful and very strategic on how to use him. I would be shocked if they use him this much, like saying 3 innings or a big bulk. I would think it's going to be more on spots. It's going to be more like the 9th inning guy or maybe the 8th inning guy if it comes down to that lineup strategic where that 8th inning Churios Contreras situation comes up in the 8th. You put Sasaki in because he's been lights out.
Yeah, again, just 10 games in the regular season, about a 4.5 ERA, but he has been a heck of a lot better than that. Is that the biggest concern, the bullpen as a whole for the Dodgers going into the series?
It's been the biggest concern all year. right? So I would think in the postseason that's also going to be a concern. But when you have a guy like Sasaki and you got a guy like Vanda with lefties, getting lefties out, I think they're going to be just fine. They have an abundance of starters. I think they're going to go deeper into games as well. They just got to hit. If they can hit, somehow get some runs early on, put some pressure on the Milwaukee Brewers offense, I think the Dodgers are in a good place.
The final four that we are left with, we as baseball fans are going to be treated to a couple of great league championship series, including what's going on in the American League. We'll dive into that on the other side of the break between the Mariners and the Blue Jays. But first, it's time for your Capital One Premier Plays of the Night.